Hey everyone. Um, I've got the YouTube stream up, so if anybody wants to pop over there, they can. I've got some music playing in the background. Hopefully, the music's not too loud like last time. Let me just drop it a little bit down. Hey Sarah, how's it going? Oh no, there's a leak in the pool. Oh no, go get that fixed, Sharon. So today we're going to be making some vegan tacos. So we've got some Ives Ground Round. I like using this product; it's pretty good. And if, in case you don't have this, you can. I don't know why there's so much white light coming through the back here, but here. If you don't have this, you could also use Garden's got a good option as well. It's gluten-free, and and Beyond Meat also, and I think Impossible also has ground. They're pretty good. I think Beyond is gluten-free for sure. This one might have gluten in it. I believe it does. I believe it's got some wheat in it. Yeah, it's got some wheat starch in it, so this one isn't gluten-free, but there are plenty of options out there, right? So let's get started. I'm just going to turn on the heat and we can get going. This is, like I said in my previous video, I'm going to be working on some quick transition meals that anyone that's looking to transition into a plant-based diet can incorporate into their diet. Let me know if the sound's okay, if everything's good on your end, and yeah, hopefully everybody had a great week. And let's get started. Hey, Carrie Ann, how's it going? Glad to see you back on here. We missed you while you were gone. So today I'm just going to be making some vegan tacos. A very simple recipe. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on transitions for the time being, like quick, simple transition meals that you can incorporate into your diet if you're switching over. Hey Sarah, how's it going? To incorporate into your meals if you're transitioning over. Now, if you don't want to use the mock meats and stuff like that, I'd recommend either using black beans or some beans. You can also use lentils, but you would have to just make sure that they're pre-soaked and cooked probably halfway before you start this process. You might be able to even get away with like chickpeas, but I think black beans probably would work the best for like a taco dish if you wanted to make it more of a whole food type meal. But like I said, we're just gonna focus a little bit on transition meals. I know a lot of people are looking to just kind of incorporate less meat into their diet, or transition over to a plant-based diet. So I thought I might as well make some content to give some opportunities for them to try out these recipes. So we've got the ground, right? We've got the ground just in a pan right now. I just kind of smushed it down, and then I'm gonna start incorporating some spices. So I've already pre-cut some lettuce here. I've got some jalapenos. I've got a block of cheese. I want to show you how we grate our cheese here, and I've got our taco shells here. Now what I'm going to do is, as we're waiting for this to heat up, I might as well get started on the taco shells too. So for our taco shells, we like to use Old El Paso, or if you like soft shell tacos, there's some pretty good gluten-free options there. This is corn flour, so it's gluten-free. Hello. And so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have maybe 3 or 4 of these. So just be careful. These shells do break easy, right? Like you can also already see there's a couple of broken shells in here. So I'm just going to try to gently get out another 3. Normally there's a piece of cardboard protecting these, right? So I'm going to get some taco shells here. And what you can do is, if you've got a toaster oven, I've seen people do this before, but you can pop them in over this little slit. But you know what? I'm not gonna risk it. I'm going to just put them on top. But I have people pop them over the slip. I've never really tried it, and I don't want them to bend too much because then I won't be able to get the stuffing in it, right? So I'm just gonna put them in there, and I'm gonna put it to toast. So it's gonna be like, you know, almost 3 minutes here. And now we've got the heat going, so we can start mixing this up. And I want to keep this, you know, somewhat dry, right? So we'll get the liquid out of here just by heating it up a bit and incorporate some spices. Now, the easiest way to do this, actually, if you really wanted to cut some corners here, Ives does offer a pre-seasoned ground, so you can get the taco one. You could kind of bypass some of the stuff, but what I normally do is I grab taco seasoning, so we just get it in bulk because we use it for a lot of different stuff. And you're probably going to put about a teaspoon of the taco seasoning in there, right? And just do that a quick mix. Make sure it doesn't get stuck together. Now normally I would put like some onions and stuff on it, but I'm trying to keep these meals very simple, right? So it doesn't deter someone from, you know, trying this out, right? So like, feel free to add some onions, some other veggies, even some corn. Corn's a great one. If you don't want to add onions and you have like onion powder or onion, what are these called? Just chopped dried onions. You could add that to it as well, just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of flavor, right? And just gonna toss this around. You can add a little bit of water if you feel like it's getting too dry. Right? I'm going to just drop the heat. Drop the heat to low. And then I'm going to also add like half a teaspoon of garlic powder as well. Just give it some additional taste. So we already have the taco seasoning in there, which is going to basically give it the taste that you want, but I'm going to add some garlic in there as well. To ward off the vampires, right? Especially taco vampires. They're always after our food. Give it a good mix, right? Oh, and then there's one little thing that I do add in, and it's totally up to you if you want to add it, is cumin, right? So just put in a little dash of it. There would probably be, you know, like half a teaspoon of it. This gives it a nice taste as well. There might be cumin in the taco mix, but I like to add a little bit more. It gives it a great smell, right? Smell is one of the biggest elements of making a dish that, you know, your family would eat, because you got the smell, so you got your onions and garlic giving it a great smell, right? So I've got this a little bit on the dry end, right? Perfect. So it's a bit on the dry end, but don't forget, you know, tacos have other elements that, I'm gonna turn off the heat now because we're done with this. And tacos have other elements that incorporate the moisture, right? So we've got lettuce, I've got some pico de gallo here that I'm gonna add to it, and then we've got some cheese. So I'm going to take this and just kind of set it aside. I'll just leave it on the stove, just give it a quick mix before. Something else you can add fresh or dry. So sometimes I'll just add cilantro. I'm not sure if I have some fresh cilantro in the fridge, so I'm just going to use some dried cilantro leaves as well, right? And these are all totally optional, right? You can add these if you like it. I know some people don't like the taste of cilantro. I, for one, when I was young, it did not taste very good to me. Kind of tasted like soap. I'm not sure if anyone's ever encountered that. Hey Tina, how's it going? Hope you enjoy that cake. I definitely like a slice of that cake. So we got that going. Now we've got our tacos done here, right? And what I'm gonna do, just gonna move this aside so I can get some of this cheese grated. How much time do we have left? Wow, 12 minutes, wow. Okay, well, the assemblies are pretty quick, so I've got this handy little cheese grater. I ended up buying this for my daughter because she really loves cheese. And she was grating it by hand. How's it going, Tina? She was grating it by hand, so I got her this for her birthday that just passed last month, and she loves it. So how much cheese do I want? Take half of this. So this is just a brick of Daiya cheese, a block. Right, Daiya, just Daiya cheddar cheese. Put that aside. Just gonna put this in the top here. I've never actually used this machine yet. So you just push down as you turn. Get this out of the way. Look at that. Look at all that cheese. Look how easy that was. She loves it. She loves the cheese grater. Why wouldn't you, right? You can use this for veggies too. You can use it for like zucchinis and different veggies. What a great device, huh? To the side, a bit of gallo. So get my shells down. Just be very gentle with the shells. Right. So we've got our shells down here. Just move this over slightly so we can get the plate right in there. So, I don't know, people have different ways of doing this. Some people put the lettuce on the bottom. Some people put the meat on the bottom. Right? I like putting the lettuce on the bottom, because in this way it kind of squishes everything down, right? Cheese on top, lettuce on the bottom. This all in there. Try to get as much lettuce in there as possible without breaking the shell. Right. And let's see. Okay, we got the lettuce in there. Right. Now what I'm gonna do is grab this. I'm gonna do it right over the pan here. So if it falls out, it falls back into the pan. Just push it down in there. Perfect. Now, I'm not sure what everyone's tastes are, but I like soft shell tacos as well as hard shell tacos. But you know what? The hard shell tacos are fun just because of the crunchiness of it, right? And you don't have to heat them up. Well, other than the toaster oven. The soft shell tacos. I think I personally like soft shell tacos. What's everybody else think? It's a good protein source. I see them in the US, Daiya, with chickpeas. Yeah, I think Daiya is made with cassava. Have you come across a good vegan cheese that is also good protein source? You know, I don't generally. I'll tell you one thing. I consider myself like an athlete, but I don't think I would consider cheese in general, vegan or non, to be a good source of protein. Just because cheese is like it's a product that's high in fat, right? Hello. So it's kind of like it's kind of like on the opposite side of spectrum, right? I don't know though. I don't really look when I look at cheese. Cheese is kind of like, to me, cheese is like an ice cream, right? It's like a fatty substance. I don't think I've ever looked to see what kind of protein contents in cheese. So let me just put this little bit of cheese in there. You can put a little bit, you can put a lot. Now the reason why I put the cheese next to the meat or the veggie ground is because then it will melt, right? So now I've got that, and I need a spoon. Grab a spoon here and put my little pico de gallo in. Off to the races to eat. Some pico de gallo, let's give it a little bit of liquidity. There we go. And top it off with some jalapenos. Right, so we get the pico de gallo is a little bit on the mild side, so just add some jalapenos in here. Now I'm rushing because I know it's a little late. You like soft shell? Yeah, soft shell tacos. They are actually my favorite, but I decided to go with hard shell for this recipe. Also, my photo was hard shell, so there you go. Some easy tacos. Now you can, if you do have some refried beans, you can put a coating of the refried beans on the outside, or sorry, get a soft shell taco, put a nice thin coat of the refried beans on it, and then wrap this in the soft shell taco. That's like amazing. I don't know if you've ever tried it at Taco Bell, but that's pretty much what they do. I forgot what they call that dish. It's basically like two tacos, right? Here we go. Show the audience on YouTube. Right? Let's see how they taste. Ooh, I almost locked my knee out just moving there. Now that's part of the fun of hard shell tacos, right? The expectation is they're supposed to break and get all over the place, right? What were the best tacos you've ever had? For me, there's this place in California right on Hermosa Beach, and it's called Project Taco. If you're ever in the neighborhood, go check them out. They're not strictly vegan, but they have vegan options. And we went there, and it was for a business trip, and I was looking for vegan food, and I found them. Amazing tacos. Bye, Tina. Have a great day. What's everyone up to this weekend? Any special plans? We have I'm not religious, but my father and my mother were. We have like a religious ceremony going on tomorrow. Um, so it's kind of like we do like these religious anniversary types ceremonies. So it's for my father who passed away 2 years ago. Um, so that's what we have this on Saturday, and then Sunday I'm not too sure what the plans are, but hopefully get out and enjoy some sun. I know Saturday might be cloudy here. Sorry, excuse me. Might be cloudy here, so so we'll try to enjoy the weekend as much as we can. Something about tacos, they're so filling. Hey, munchies. A great replacement if you're not a big fan of the lettuce inside tacos. I learned this from that restaurant, Project Taco. Actually, they're like a little booth um, off Hermosa Beach Pier. Sorry, off Hermosa Beach. I don't know if it's near the pier. Anyway, a great substitute for lettuce is cabbage. At first I was like, cabbage, that's kind of weird, it's kind of raw and it's kind of crunchy, but it works really well. And it's more nutritious too. Hello. Just enjoying some tacos. What kind of heavy and flavorful recipes do you suggest for people that can't cook? Well, you can always make like the simple ones. You can make like a vegan mac and cheese. You can make something on the potato side. So if you want to make like, you can make a potato curry that you can use like pre-flavored sauces that you can get in cans and bottles. So how I like inspired myself to cook was I started with like a simple concept, right? So like for instance, if I was gonna make tomato, or let's say I was gonna make spaghetti, right? So to cook noodles and make the sauces isn't very hard. You can basically pour out a jar of tomato sauce. Now, what you want to do is you want to figure out what's in that tomato sauce that you like, and is there a way that you can replicate that? Sometimes you just look at the ingredients. So what's in the ingredients that I like? And you can start breaking that down, right? So sometimes, if I do find recipes of things I like, or if I go to a restaurant and I figure out what are the elements of that dish that I like, I just try to break that down and then incorporate it into um, the meal that I'm making, right? So, for instance, I keep on mentioning this Project Taco place. One thing I liked about what they did was they used soft shell tacos, they used cabbage, and then they made a hot sauce that was made out of jalapenos and pineapples. So why that jalapeno and pineapple sauce worked so well um, was because the pineapple was sweet, and then the jalapeno was like super spicy, right? Um, so the combination worked well together. So I started seeing this connection in a lot of foods I liked, where it's either sweet and savory, sweet and spicy. So I started to try to incorporate that into meals that I like. So I like savory dishes even if it has a sweet element to it, right? And so now I start making my dishes and I'm like, oh, if I add a sweeter element to it, let's say like if I'm making a sauce and I add a little bit of maple syrup, even though I'm using soy sauce, which is sour, is more on the savory side, if I add some maple syrup now, we'll bring it back to the sweet side. And if I add some chili sauce, which will make it spicy, right? Now I've got my simple recipe, which is maple syrup, soy, and chili sauce, right? And that was the base of most of my meals, right? On the Asian variety type meals, right? And I started kind of experimenting with that, right? And then I developed different flavors. So how you get the flavor of something is you incorporate something that's a little bit more on the overpowering side, right? So like, I keep on talking about Thai basil. I'm not sure if you've tried Thai basil, but Thai basil's got a pretty strong flavor to it. Peanut has a strong flavor to it. Certain varieties of mushrooms has a strong flavor to it. So as you start incorporating these into your dishes, right, those flavors come into the meal, right, and then sometimes they overpower it, right, and then they take over the profile. So like if I'm making something and I incorporate dill's going to become like the primary flavor of that dish. If I incorporate peanut sauce or peanuts, it's going to become a peanut dish, right? But it's still going to maintain that the savory, the sweet, and the spicy throughout, right? So I don't know if that was a good explanation, but simple meals are like, if you want to start base, just don't worry too much about the sauce and worry about just making sure it's a heavier meal, like a potato or pasta or on that type of variety, right? Beans, lentils, those are heavy type meals. Last one. This one got a little soft. Thank you. If you look at most things in life, to kind of step back, when you look at someone doing something that you consider them to be an expert or like skilled in, the only difference between them being an expert or skilled in something is they've kind of learned through the process, right? They've kind of started somewhere and they've kind of developed and they've learned it, they've practiced it, right? So what I'm trying to show here is like a lot of this stuff's simple. I know that a lot of people think of cooking and then they think, oh, a chef, it's too hard, it's a little bit too past my level of comfort, right? So what you should do is work within your level of comfort, but continuously try to kind of step outside that level and try to broaden it. And eventually, your level of comfort might be like the inner side of this plate, but like an analogy, eventually it's going to be further out, right? So it just starts with that word. It's starting, right? Like, start trying something, try a recipe, change it. Great thing about cooking is you don't necessarily have to follow the recipe like verbatim, right? Like, you don't have to use the measurements verbatim. So if I like something a bit more spicy, I might put more chilies or something spicier in it, right? If I like it more sweet, I might put more the maple syrup or whatever. You can adjust it based on your likes, and then explore other flavors that you may like that I may not, right? And find what works for you, and then continuously push yourself, right? So if you see a product and you're like, oh, okay, I see how they made it. They made it with these, components. At some point, like if you're using sauces or spices, like pre-made spices, you may look at what are those components and say, oh, okay, well, it looks like it's not that hard. Maybe I can try to like put in the elements of the spice to see if it comes up very similar, right? Or put less of this and more of the other elements, right? To make it more to your liking, right? But start and just continuously like evolve and grow and learn, and then at some point someone's going to look at what you're doing and they're going to say, hey, that's amazing, you're so great at it, how did you do this? And you're going to say the same thing to them. It starts with you trying and not giving up and continuously pushing yourself, right? Expanding your knowledge, right? So that is the end. I finished my meal. Thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you liked it. I know it was a pretty quick meal. Like I said, I'm going to work on some transition meals. I'm going to tell you what the good alternatives are to make this into a whole food meal, which, like I said, you could use lentils, black beans. You could even use mushrooms in this if you cut them finely, or even grate them. Maybe even grate them on and put them in. So those are the whole food options. And just like if you've noticed, I didn't put oil when I cooked. That's one of the main components of what I do. Is I try to keep oil out of my foods. So when I eat, I can eat things that have fat content in it naturally, like avocados and stuff like that. So I'm not misbalancing my diet because I get it from good natural sources. But if you continuously put oil in your foods, what you're doing is you're elevating the calories, you're elevating the fat content in all your meals, and then slowly over time, all those components add up. And then, like for instance, if you have ice cream every once in a while, you've already kind of filled your quota for the day with all the oils that you may be cooking with, and then you may then the effects of ice cream or yogurt or something that you can have once in a while for a cheat start to kind of incorporate into your lifestyle, right? So it starts to make a negative impact. And so so that's the other thing I would always push is try to reduce your oil content, even in salads. What's the purpose of having such a nice healthy salad if you're going to pour like olive oil or something all over it? Try to find a nice balance so you can just have that meal, be satisfied with that meal, and then if you want after, you can have a bit of a cheat, right? And then at least when you're having that cheat how big of a dish you want to have, right? So it's easier to incorporate and easier to analyze and understand what your input is, right? So for instance, this meal had 1 gram per 1/3 cup. So this is probably like 4 or 5 grams of fat in this dish. I'm not going to eat this whole dish. I probably ate maybe a third of this dish, right? And it's got 9 grams of protein. So I probably got like 2 grams of fat and 18 grams of protein out of this, right? So yeah. So hopefully all this helps, and let me know what you guys think of the video. Those for you on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as per usual, I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you next Friday. Bye everyone. Have a great day.